I talked about the leg day yesterday. I'll post it the same way, but on Facebook. So make sure you go on there and check it out. I really want to talk to you all about le struggle. Today's le struggle is the sweet tooth. And I know a lot of people can relate, and I know there's a lot of people that cannot, but hear me out for all those who can relate. And if you can't, think about something that you can kind of, parallel with what I'm talking about, and you'll be able to relate in that sense. But, one of the hardest things that I've had to overcome in this daily fitness journal, and I'm talking about everything from talking to you guys about all the things that I'm doing, to documenting all my meals, all my snacks, all my everything, to going to the gym and all that, is this real life addiction to sugar. And I say real life because, I thought when I first heard somebody say, you can be addicted to sugar, I'm like, whatever, that's just an excuse people are making, yada yada yada, right? But the hardest thing for me so far, and I'm only gonna say it's the hardest thing because literally I have withdrawals. Whenever you have a damn withdrawal for something, it's bad. It's a problem. I've had withdrawals from sugar, and not just like, oh man, I can go for something sweet, but like seriously craving to the point where it's like, how can I eat some sugar and then not mess with what I got going right now? Like, it's for real. Because for those who know me, and now for those who do not, I for real love cakes and pies. All my super duper just baker's woman type ordeal. I love cakes and pies. I used to bake once a week, like something that was super rich. I remember I made a freaking banana cream cheesecake that was absolutely fantastic from scratch. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I'm having some memories. Feel like I'm gonna lapse. No, let me stop. Anyway, so because I love sweets the way that I do, and not like candy, like I could probably do without candy, but cakes and pies, hell, my favorite candy though, if I am gonna do candy, is like Reese's peanut butter cups, that type of stuff. That shit gets me. So what I've been having to learn how to do is to say no to those things and keep it pushing. And like, if I'm gonna have a cheat day, to not go all the way over the top. So like my last quote unquote cheat day was it was on President's Day. And basically, I had a slice of cheesecake with strawberries on top of it. Now I know you're thinking, cheesecake will kill all of your dreams as a fitness anything, because it's just so high in calories and yada yada yada, right? But what I did was I cut it in half. I put a ton of strawberries, fresh strawberries on that thing, and kept pushing. Made sure I drank lots of water. I didn't have any like soda or anything. I didn't have any iced tea with the sweetener in it. It was literally that. And then I did like a super small serving of nachos from Denny's because I was craving it. But when I tell you, it was so hard for me not to just eat a whole cheesecake. Like, it's a for real battle with me right now. And I don't know if it'll ever not be a battle. But I'm here to tell y'all, if I can get over this thing and I can say no to sugar, you can too if you got a sweet tooth, yo. One thing that I have been doing that kind of supersedes the sweet tooth and makes it to where, I'm good, is like I'll try to eat like an apple or something a day. Just just an apple, a small apple at that, just so that I can get that sweetness out of the way, just knock it out, and drink tons and tons of water. Because I've found that the more water that I drink, the less susceptible I am to wanting the sweets. And then on top of that, the other thing that I've been doing, I got the little cuties, the little clementines, the tangerines. Whew, those things are so good. I could probably eat like 35 of them in one sitting if you let me. But I've been eating those as a snack, and just make sure that if I'm gonna have sugar, it's gonna be sugar that my body can break down, like the sugar from fruits. Even when I juice, because I juice in the mornings now. Well, I used to juice all the time, but now I'm reintroducing it because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of my vitamins in, and not have to take like an actual vitamin. So even when I juice, I'm juicing with like all the stuff that is not necessarily sweet, and then adding like a sweet ingredient later. So if I juice celery and all this other stuff, kale, all the green stuff, then I'm gonna take a green apple at the end and juice it up. That way that could be the sweet part of it. Even though celery has its own type of sweetness, the green apple really like kicks it up a notch. So the moral of the story for the struggle is that if you're going through it and you see that you can't do without sugar, or you can't do without the salty snacks like the chips, or even bread, because bread is like, whoo, love some bread, but haven't been eating bread like that because I know what it does. It's gonna make me gain weight again, and it's gonna freaking sit there and not be good for any of my goals, so I stay away from it. If you can find a healthy alternative for any and all of the things that you've become addicted to in the food realm, then you're well on your way. But the most important part is to break the freaking bond that you have with whatever that thing is. Mentally, if we can break the unhealthy relationship that we have with the foods that we're most addicted to, then that's the first step to really and truly getting over that addiction. Because the first thing I had to tell myself when I was trying to get over this whole sugar addiction thing, or as I'm trying to get over this whole sugar addiction thing, is that, you don't need it. You absolutely do not need that thing, and it's not going to help you with the bottom line. So why jeopardize everything that you've worked so hard to get because of this temporary feeling that you get from eating this? And I'm telling you, I have to remind myself constantly, but I swear to goodness, that reminder works. It really works. So keep those things in mind when you're dealing with your own struggles in your diet, and trust you me, it will help a ton, an absolute ton. Alright, so moving on. I hope that you are able to find some type of peace of mind knowing that you're not alone, and it's definitely not just you going through anything that you're going through when it comes to your fitness struggles or questions, or even the moments that you have that you backslide. It's okay. Trust me, it is okay, because we all go through it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and go on a quick music break. Don't go anywhere. You're now tuned into the Daily Fitness Show with Dominique J. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Fitness Show with yours truly, Dominique J. Thank you. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. I really appreciate your listenership. So, I mentioned a little bit yesterday about what we was going to talk about today. And our Mythbuster for today is, does your sex drive... is your sex drive influenced at all by your physical fitness? Because there are studies that show that your sex drive can be, and of course there's opposing articles that show that it's whatever. So I'm gonna tell you about this interesting article that I read about, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, and it was saying that men who have more fat on their bodies are more susceptible to higher sex drives, and that they have a higher stamina in the bedroom, right? Now, anyone who looks at these articles have to keep things in mind, like when statistics are normally brought to the table, they're normally brought in fractions. Like, you only get a small part of the whole scale, right? They don't really tell you like what their study group looked like. So even like the statistic that's being bounced around, and has been bounced around for, I don't know, ages now, that 50% of all marriages end in divorce, is bullshit, because they don't show you the full scope of it. Because the rest of that statistic goes, it's in the first 7 years, the couple makes under like something like $50,000 a year as a unit, and like there's several other things that make that statistic, not just 50% of all marriages end in divorce. It's bullshit. So when I read the article, of course, I'm like, yo, y'all saying this, but I don't see all the facts. I don't believe you need more people. So I did some research the other day for this show to see what the other side of that coin looked like, as far as like men that are in shape, women that are in shape, what does it do for their sex drives? And yo, there's a lot of research on this subject. I didn't even know that it was this deep. Like, people have been studying this for a very, very long time. And it basically all came back as a unanimous thing that the more you work out, the more susceptible you are to having a higher sex drive. And it's absolutely fantastic the way they break this stuff down in science. I mean, I couldn't believe it, and I couldn't even understand half the damn words they were using, because it was just so deep and detailed. When I tell you they've been doing research on this forever. So the short answer is yes, your workouts will definitely help with your sex drive. You just have to realize and recognize what's happening during your workout, right? Because if you get to the point where you get bored with a workout and you don't go as hard, you're not going to be pumping all that testosterone and all those other things that happen during a workout. So it's probably not going to do so good for your other workout, if you know what I mean. So, anywho, my time is about up here, you guys. I really thank you so much for listening into the Daily Fitness Show. Make sure you follow us on all of the social media outlets. Go ahead and hit that bench a couple of times more, fellas, so that you can get that, libido going. Ladies, don't be afraid to do those squats, because, studies show it helps. Tune into our next show tomorrow. Do not forget to reach out and let us know what you want to hear about. And until next time, peace, love, and don't forget to re-rack those weights. This is Dominique J with the Daily Fitness Show, and I'm out.